In the heart of the 20th century, one man rose from the shadows of exile to ignite a revolution that shook the world. A cleric, a scholar, a symbol of resistance, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. He overthrew a monarchy, challenged global superpowers, and redefined the balance of religion and politics. But who was the man behind the black turban? How did he go from a seminary in Qom to the supreme leader of an Islamic Republic? This is the story of Ayatollah Khomeini, the architect of Iran's 1979 Islamic Revolution. Ruhollah Khomeini was born on September 24, 1902, in the small town of Khomeini in central Iran. From a young age, he was steeped in the traditions of Sharia Islam. His father, a respected cleric, was murdered when Ruhollah was just 5 months old, an early brush with injustice that may have shaped his lifelong resistance to tyranny. As a young man, Khomeini pursued religious studies in Iraq and later in the holy city of Qom, becoming a scholar of Islamic philosophy, mysticism, and jurisprudence. Over time, he gained a reputation not just as a teacher, but as a man with a fierce moral compass and an uncompromising vision. But it wasn't until the 1960s that he would truly step onto the political stage. Iran in the mid-20th century was under the rule of Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi, a monarch supported by the West, particularly the United States. The Shah pursued modernization and westernization, but at a heavy cost: political repression, cultural alienation, and widespread inequality. In 1963, Khomeini publicly condemned the Shah's White Revolution, a series of reforms he saw as anti-Islamic and serving foreign interests. His fiery sermons led to his arrest, sparking protests across Iran. Though briefly released, the regime saw him as a threat and exiled him in 1964. But exile didn't silence Khomeini, it amplified his voice. From Iraq, and later France, he continued to send speeches and recordings into Iran, galvanizing a growing opposition movement. As the 1970s unfolded, dissatisfaction with the Shah intensified. Economic troubles, political crackdowns, and a perception of moral decay fed the flames of rebellion. Khomeini, now a symbol of resistance, called for an end to monarchy and the establishment of an Islamic government. By 1978, Iran was on fire. Mass demonstrations, general strikes, and brutal government crackdowns brought the country to the brink. Then came the turning point. On February 1, 1979, after 14 years in exile, Ayatollah Khomeini returned to Iran to a hero's welcome. Millions flooded the streets of Tehran to greet him. 10 days later, the monarchy collapsed. The Shah had fled, and the Islamic Revolution was complete. In April 1979, following a national referendum, Iran was declared an Islamic Republic with Khomeini as its supreme leader, a new position that combined religious authority with ultimate political power. Under his leadership, Iran adopted a new constitution grounded in Vilayat-e-Faqih, the guardianship of the Islamic jurist. This placed clerics at the heart of governance, a radical shift from centuries of secular or monarchic rule. But it wasn't a peaceful transformation. The post-revolution years were marked by purges, executions of former regime supporters, and the crushing of political dissent, including leftist, liberal, and nationalist groups that had once fought alongside the revolution. Then, in 1980, the newly formed Islamic Republic faced its greatest external challenge yet. That year, Iraq's Saddam Hussein invaded Iran, launching a brutal war that would last 8 years and cost over 1 million lives. Khomeini framed the conflict as a holy defense, rallying the country in the name of martyrdom and national pride. Despite the immense human cost, Khomeini refused to negotiate, until 1988, when he finally accepted a ceasefire, calling it more deadly than drinking poison. Throughout the war, Khomeini maintained tight control. He continued to export his revolutionary ideology, inspiring Islamist movements across the Muslim world and causing alarm in Western capitals and among Sunni Arab leaders. He also issued a fatwa in 1989 against author Salman Rushdie, accusing his book The Satanic Verses of blasphemy, a move that reignited global debates around free speech, religion, and the power of clerics. On June 3, 1989, Ayatollah Khomeini died. Over 10 million people attended his funeral, one of the largest in history. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini remains one of the most controversial and influential figures of the 20th century. To some, he was a savior, a man who stood up to imperialism and reclaimed national and religious identity. To others, he was a hardline theocrat whose rule suppressed freedoms and left a complex, turbulent legacy. But one thing is certain, he changed Iran forever. And the echoes of his revolution still shape the Middle East, and the world, today. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a deep dive like this.